Good evening, Barb Pask here again. This is the painting I started last night. Haven't done anything to it today. Kind of wanted to get back to it while the paint was wet. Been looking at it, deciding where I wanted to go from here. Sorry, I noticed last night as I messed around with these pictures, I was kind of noisy. I'll try to be more conscious of that tonight. I think what I'd like to do, I'm not doing this for any special reason. Just, and it's not bad. I don't dislike it the way it is, but I'm thinking I want to maybe darken and cool off that barn to pull that barn back. I'd like to make the house more my focal point. So I'm thinking I'm going to darken this, brighten this, maybe darken some of this side so the light's kind of coming across. Maybe we'll get a little light on the barn. Don't know. Just going to have some fun with it and play around, and we'll see how it comes out. If I ruin it, I ruin it. So let's start with that barn, and let's darken that barn. Again, for it to recede, I'm going to want it cooler. Okay, and darker. Right now I feel like you've got two focal points. You got the house and the barn, because the barn is so bright. I don't want that. This is a case which isn't typical for me, I'm working, from two different references. I don't usually work that way. I usually have all my information in one photo, but just having fun and playing around. And so again, like I said, we'll darken this. Try to pull it back. And again, this surface is very wet from last night, so I'm going to be, picking that up too. And I've given this more thought, and I think what this probably is, even though I can't see it real well in the reference, I think this is like one of those shed roofs, and I suspect this is open underneath. So that's what I'm going with. Like I said, we may hit this building with some light. Like some of the lights coming across and hitting it. But for now, I'm just darkening and cooling it off. I want to welcome my new subscribers. I got more new subscribers. That's my goal this month. I'm really working this month to build up my subscriber list, and I really, really appreciate you joining me. Hopefully you're here because you enjoy watching people paint too, and I paint quite frequently, and if it's too much, you just don't watch it. So again, we've kind of muddied it up, we've pulled it back. You saw last night, if you, I'm sure, watched the first video, that I did most of this with that rubber palette knife, which is just a fun tool. Okay, we'll leave that the way it is for now and move on. And right now you can see a lot of my tone peeking through. So we don't want to kill all that. I do like that. Let's work on the house a little bit. Again, this probably would have been better to have done on a bigger canvas. And I might do something before too long. You know, look, this detail is so tiny. You know, I'm into a small brush right away trying to get the detail. One thing I did with that rubber knife last night, I was saying you can cut into this, you know, and make grass. I kind of did some of this and pulled this back to expose some of that warm color and kind of suggest the metal roof. And I went across there and kind of pulled that up because the perspective was off a little bit. It's just a fun thing. I call these diamond shaped, I think. They're obviously kind of triangle. I need a brush kind of in between those two. Let's try this one. This is pretty stiff. Bristles are nice if you're trying to pick up a lot of paint. As you can see, I'm going more yellow, kind of suggesting sunlight. I just thought it might be fun to make this, you know, a scene where the house is catching light and going across to the barn. That's what I'm thinking. Try to keep my hands out of the painting here. A little bit challenging. Now this may be too orange, but we're going to try. Because see, the front of this chimney would be catching light too. As with the brick on the front, but it's more red. See, there's two posts out here. Not that it really matters particularly. Again, when we're working this small, you can't explain all the detail, nor do you want to really. I said this might be kind of fun to do bigger. rained all day here. Just gloomy. We need some sunshine. I like to walk and not today. I might look for one of those YouTube videos later and exercise or something in the house, I'm thinking. That's kind of fun, you know, the warm color and the glow on the chimney. There's a ledge here on top of the brick. Maybe we'll brighten it up a little bit too. You know, we're kind of winging it here because, like I said, I don't really have a good reference for this. But I like it. I want to get some of this color in here, and then we'll maybe kind of suggest that chimney cap. All right, trying to think where I want to go from here. I think we'll mix up a darker green. Got my wire ball out tonight. I showed you this one time, hold the brushes, just jam them in there. It's got a flat bottom on it. I joke about how we need every tool. Well, I ordered a new one today. I ordered a pair of glasses with red lenses. The idea is when you look through those that you're looking and you can see value. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe some darker edges over in here. Not real sure. Maybe some, as you can tell, I don't have a great plan here. Get my little tool back out here. Hopefully what I put on last night hasn't dried too much. Hopefully I can still move it around. Let's see what it looks like to put a little bit of this orange glow in our trees, maybe. You know, I'm thinking more like afternoon light that would come low and hit the house and you know, glow up into the trees like it does. And probably some of that would be hitting this bush here too. I'm going to take some of this same warm yellow color and suggest a couple steps on the front. See, I like the imperfection of what I've got going here. And if the light was coming across here, I'm thinking it would probably, we'd catch some on that barn. If you know me, you know I'm not one to really make stuff up much, but maybe. That's not really cutting into that. Let's try this. It may have set up too long, I don't know. That's the walkway out in front. Take a look at this paper without trying to make too much noise. I didn't realize how loud I was being last night. Has a chimney cap on it. You know, I've got this light on here. I don't know how well I like it. And this is a shadow under here. You know, maybe it would be better off just to be a square. Like with a lot of old barns. Looking at the shape of these trees. I cut that line in there last night. Not sure it's correct. feel like it's all about that cute house. Let me stand up and get away from it. Take a look at it here. You know, and you could run a fence through here. You know, you want your focal point ideally here, 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 here. If you divide your canvas vertically into thirds and horizontally into thirds, where they intersect is ideally, and that's about where this is right here. Sure, not saying it's a perfect composition, I don't know. And I had the light on the barn and I took it off. Not sure why, it just didn't feel right. I went with the more yellow color. Let's go a little more orange and see if that, maybe that's better. That's the disadvantage to palette knife. I took a class with Mark Bogus one time, and he would load his palette knife and then he would clean it off so he got exactly the amount of paint he wanted, which makes sense. Otherwise you end up, you know, it goes beyond where you want it to go. He's a very patient painter. Spends a long time on his focal point. Okay, now are we happy with the barn being that dull? And I like the house. I like the glow in the trees. And we've got some of the glow on the barn. Trying to decide if it's enough. You know, we could hit it with a little more light, because it would probably be getting more, at least toward the top, wouldn't it? That's a little intense, but picked up a lot of paint right there, didn't I? I don't want it to feel too isolated. We'll run this up off over in here. And again, we got a lot of our orange peeking through, which I like. Still feeling like maybe a little more light on the barn. I've got a pretty dirty brush. Let's clean that brush up. Just a little glow across there. You know, we could put flowers in the beds, but that's kind of picky little detail that okay. And I keep looking, thinking maybe that could handle a little more intense light. You know. Okay, that was about 32 minutes. The other one last night I think went about an hour. We'll get them up and posted, and again, I'm not completely sure I'm done with it, but let's go ahead and we'll sign it for you while I got you here. I just mix up a dark. Years ago, I used to sign with Cad Red Light. That's what Bob Ross always did, if you remember. If you watched him, I think everybody watched Bob. He's still on. And if you're an artist, you want to get your signature up high enough that you don't cover it up with your frame. You know, be proud of it, get it up there. I used to put it too low. But I'm not one to sign it really big and intrusive. You know, I don't want it to take away from the painting. I have an easy name. All right, I'm going to post this. Please like and subscribe. I'll put a link to my website in the description box, and please go back to the video for the giveaway and make sure that you like and subscribe, and please comment, because I'm going to use those comments too to draw a winner, and we'll be announcing the winner on May 13th. Let me get up from this and I'll show you a front view of it. Tonight we really hardly looked at the photos that I started with. I kind of was just shifting it around, trying to make it what I wanted. All right, there it is. I kind of like it. I think the farmhouse is very charming. I like the intense light on it and the glow in the trees. And as you can see, I did a swipe over there on the barn. And this is only an 8x10. I may do something similar, go a little bigger next time, but please comment again and like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching, and you have a nice evening. I'll paint again before too long. Thank you.